Welcome you lovely lot to Ultimate Rig Series. We're here today to look at quite a nice sort of finesse maggots, pellets, about 3 foot, no deeper than 3 foot of water kind of rig really. Something that I use quite a lot. So we've got a really slim profile float pattern here that you can see. It's a 4x12s, you know, sort of very stretched out body kind of float, and it's really fine, like I said. So it is a hollow bristle, but rather than the 1.5 I've gone down to a 1.2 just to give me that slightly more finesse, slightly better bite indication even when it's really dotted down, and obviously less resistance from the fisher's perspective as well at this cold time of year. Okay, so first of all, my main line, it's 015. I said this in other videos before, but 015 optimum power by map. I use 015 because anything lighter, you tend to start to tangle up in the winter really, especially if it's quite horrible weather and it's a bit windy. So 015 is fine enough not to put the fish off, but robust enough to stop tangles and to give no nonsense simple fishing really, so I could be more effective on the bank. So the first thing is to pop the float on the main line. So go to the end of your main line. You can find it. There we go. So I'm just going to go through the eye, like so. Push the float up the line, like that. And I'm going to use 3 bits of silicone. So again, you know, I mentioned this before. It's just a case of making sure you do it quite accurately. So we've got one there, about 5mm. About another 5mm, and then one that's just a little bit longer, about 8mm. Okay, like so. So there's those 3 bits there. We've got, let's try and do it so you can see, there we go. So we've got 5mm, they'll stick. Okay, short, long, 5mm, and about 8mm. So let's just get that on the line. So it's the 5mm ones first. There we go, one like that. Two, that one was a bit stubborn, but we'll get there. 3. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wet the stem of the float. It just slides the silicone on a little bit easier. I'm going to slide it up, not all the way to the top. I don't want it too close to the body because the line will start to cut into the body of the float then. And then the middle one halfway, and the last one, the bottom one, I'll do that a little bit longer just so that it overhangs the stem, which you can see just there. So if I hold that there so you can see it, you can see this one here, it's not all the way on essentially. I just pulled it off by mistake. There you go. Okay, so like I said, the top one here, it's not too close to the body to stop the line from cutting into the body there. Then the middle one, and then obviously the bottom one that's just overhangs the stem, and it just stops tangles a little bit really. Stops the line from wrapping around the base of the float. And you've got the fish going all over the place. All I'm going to do then is tie a nice simple loop in the bottom of the rig, so it's where I attach my hook length. Always wet your knots. So essentially that's just a very quick way with that sensorless loop tire of an overhand loop. Ooh. What happened then? So that gives me that nice tidy loop in the bottom of the rig, so I can attach it loop to loop with my hook length. Dead straightforward. So here's what I'm going to do then. I'm just going to pop a weight on the spool. Just stops it from moving round. That's all it is. That's the only reason to do it like that. Just makes it really easy. Slide my float up a little bit out of the way. Now this is, like I said, this is a 4x12s, nice fine rig. So I know with the 4x12s, so if you're not sure, use a shotting tube. Just keep dropping your, you know, get yourself a 2 litre bottle, plastic bottle that's empty. Cut the top of it off fill it full of water, and you can use that to shot your float. Push all the shot up by the bottom of your float, drop it in. You can make sure you got the right weight the right weight on your line to dot your float down. But again, I know from experience that this 4x12 is going to take sort of 7 number 10s and a few droppers, probably 8 number 10s if I'm honest, but I'll put 7 on and a few droppers. So I'm going to use Stotts today for this, and all I do is I hold everything nice and tight. Oh, he says. So I hold it nice and tight like that, and just pinch it on. There's one. Just all I'm doing is popping them on the line and using the pincers, as you'd expect, just to secure everything in the right place. Doesn't mean you have to give them a big squeeze either, which is quite good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. So I use number 10s in this rig with it being a 4x12s float. If it was a 4x14s, as you can see on the other videos, I use number 9s. Mainly because you still want a bit of weight on the line. The fish move that little, especially this time of year when it's so cold. You need it to be able to show up, and you can't do that if you haven't got any weight on it. Oh, we've got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm not going to put actual trimmers on this one because I know that's going to be pretty close. I can add one on the back if I need to. So there we go. Fundamentally, that's it. That's a shot on the line. Dead straightforward, nice and easy. Just move that over again. So again, I'm going to go to my measurements that I've got on here. So I'm going to hold that bottom shot on 0. My next one's going to go at 6, and then I need to take this bulk up the line. So you can shot it however you want. Obviously sometimes I want a strung out bulk, sometimes I want a tighter bulk, sometimes it's a bulk and 2 droppers. Okay, it depends on what you're after on the day, essentially. So that's, for me, that's a bulk and 2 droppers that I've started with. The bulk is, I don't have it too tight, the bulk, just about 5 mil apart. Okay, you can see there, just like that. So just move those out of the way, it doesn't confuse you. There we go. So that's the way I do my bulk, like that, and then obviously down to 1 dropper, 6 inches, and then the other one just above the hook length. So all I need to do then is pop it on a winder. So again, I know from these winders, from experience, and I've talked about how you attach it to these winders before, making sure that it's not one that's going to kink the loop of the hook length. You want something that's going to keep it nice and straight, which I do on these like that. So you can see that it sits nice and straight on that anchor. So for me, it's going to be 12 turns. So that's 1, 2, 3. Slide the float up a bit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. When I get to where 12 is going to be, I just hold the line, and I'm going to create a nice big loop on the end that you can use obviously to attach to your Dacron or your elastic or whatever it is you want to do it. Just always wet those knots. And trim off the end. And then I've said this before in other videos, I like to have another loop on the top of my main one, just so that it makes it easy take the rig off the elastic at the end of your session. It's just another overhand loop that I make. Okay, like that. So that's the main loop that I use, and then I've got another little loop at the end. And it just means I can take the rig off. Dead straightforward, nice and easy. Or if I want to swap midway through a session, it's very simple to do that. So there we go. Dead straightforward. I hope you like that. Like I said, nice, simple, finesse profile, a 4x12s, 1.2mm fine bristle. Hope you've enjoyed that. That's another video in the Ultimate Guide. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. It really, really helps us. It's completely free. It's going to stay completely free, and we hope you enjoy it. We hope to see you on the bank very, very soon. Take care.